Thank you to Alexa for requesting this video. Self-expression has long been ingrained in modern-day society. It is important to express ourselves to validate our own self-worth. In shoujo and josei anime, it wasn't just the animation and the storytelling that caught our eyes. It was their fashion and how it created their persona. Ai Yazawa's creativity has created numerous staple shows and mangas. Character design is imperative to establishing a unique brand for your stories. Yazawa's fashion history stood out from other manga and anime adapted into slice-of-life genre. The characters wear multiple outfits and have changing body features, showing the time progression from the start to the end of the story, which creates a more engaging narrative in the saturated space of anime. Today we will examine 3 of what I would like to call the fashion masterpieces of anime and how their clothing shape the character's personality and their identity. Ai Yazawa is a Japanese manga writer and fashion designer that rose to popularity with her stories of Nana and Paradise Kiss. Although those stories were the main catalyst for her success, spawning books, internet boards, and mainstream Japanese trends spreading towards the Western countries, Yazawa has long produced quality shoujo and josei manga. From her debut book Ano Natsu to Tenshi Nakajanai and Gokinjo monogatori. If you ask any millennial or Gen Z about Ai Yazawa's work, they not only knew what you were talking about, but also which story was their favorite. The Y2K aesthetic is making a huge comeback with campy undertones, retro vibes, and lots of bright colors. Sharon Kinsella, in her article Cuties in Japan, explains how cute people and cute accessories were extremely popular, so much so that original cute fashion became a basic style or aesthetic into which many other more specific and transient fashion, such as preppy, punk, skater, folk, and black French, were mixed. In an age where media shifts towards darky, moody color palettes and vapid, woke social commentary, it's refreshing to see ultra-femininity and masculinity be represented well and encouraged in the plot of stories. Each of the shows I'm going to be talking about explicitly links clothing as a part of the character's identity, in addition to their present character traits. With those 3 manga gaining popularity, there have been talk about creating anime for them for quite a while. Toei Animation and Madhouse Studios acquired the rights to turn the mangas into shows, and this is where our story starts. '90s and early 2000s shoujo followed a typical format of a relatable girl falling in love with a handsome popular boy and going through trials and tribulations that ultimately have those characters becoming a couple. Gokinjo monogatori, aka Neighborhood Story, ran from September 10, 1995 to September 1st, 1996. It follows Mikako Koda and her friend next door neighbor / love interest Tsutomu Yamaguchi and their adventures throughout the Yaza Art and Design Institute to become successful fashion designers. The vibrant, color-coded labyrinth of the set design screams 90s camp. From the houses to the fashion school, you can see Yazawa's vintage aesthetic vision come to life. All the characters don't feel one-dimensional. It takes a stereotypical mean girl, Mariko Nakazu, and gives her a dramatic twist. From living in the rich Yokoma family, she felt entitled to have anything she wants, demanding that Tsutomu should be her boyfriend to avoid the guilt of not telling her true love, Shinji, how much she truly loves him. The wardrobe is essential to the character's persona. The animators emphasize the drawings of the characters to be elongated and thin to distinguish them from other anime where characters often resemble more human-like features. Neighborhood Story in particular garnered lots of attention from viewers regarding the animation. Either people loved it, I loved this anime. Enough episodes to really get you invested. The animation is perfect. The character design and the outfits are stunning. Gotta love, love, love Ai Yazawa. Or they hated it. Brutal art of animation. I couldn't go any further. Seriously? This anime was aired after I was born. The art was absolutely atrocious. Thanks to it, I was not able to concentrate on watching the full first episode. The only reason why I tested this anime out in the first place is basically because it's connected to Paradise Kiss. Thanks, Anime List. Ai Yazawa also wrote the series, and I have to say, I'd rather Paradise Kiss than this anime, to be honest. At the same time, I hope they pull this anime/manga series from the grave and doll it properly by making a remake. I would honestly be down watching it, no problem. That's all I'll say. It's a pity that it's not the best like Paradise Kiss. Oof, child. I'm not gonna lie, when I first saw the animation for this show, I was skeptical too. It's a show that has to grow on you for the plot, which was not original, but we'll give it a pass. The costumes gave the characters more depth and made the story more enjoyable to watch. Ai Yazawa's fashion inspirations article, written by Cookie with the Hamster, explores each of the main characters' clothing and how it contributes to their personality. Mikako is a straight up girly girl, and I am here for it. Her tiny miniskirts, high heels, and long dresses emphasize her ultra feminine aesthetic. Since she is a student, she wants to build her brand, which makes her style still experimental and trying to figure out what makes her feel the most radiant. This made her obviously annoying attitude bearable because it's realistically showing her taking inspiration from what she sees from others. Tsutomu is described to have a cyberpunk aesthetic, taking inspiration from futuristic elements such as robots and more modern designs. His style often showcases vinyl or synthetic fur, metal and or plastic accessories. He wore baggy pants, tops, and jackets, high and large chunky shoes, wedges, boots, and sneakers. Again, this goes to show the theme of experimental style, not fixing yourself to microtrends that have become severely problematic for the economy, and lack of sustainability practices. Tsutomu throughout the show is also very clueless. He doesn't know what he particularly wants in life until later on in the series. He is quite oblivious in revealing how he feels about Mikako, which did make the series at points to be a frustrating watch. The Lolita style fashion was prevalent in Risa and Mai's outfits, showing the contrast between the gothic and pastel Lolita. Mai's innocence led her to be viewed as childish, which aligns with how Japan sees kawaii culture. Cuteness often was displayed as rebelling against being put in stressful situations, which is why Neighborhood Story uses Mai to subvert our expectations of teens' clothing. Mariko straddles the line between family-friendly and sexy, taking inspiration from the Shibukaji style represented by her long dresses, which were inspired by Chanel by Karl Lagerfeld. This was very popular, especially in the first half of the 90s. This trend was appreciated from the young middle upper Japan social class, which takes Mariko's image of bodyko or nice bodyko due to her attractiveness and nice body, which plays into the over-sexualization of teen girls, and although it doesn't do this in the show explicitly, it does illustrate just how early we view clothing to view teenagers as older rather than wear outfits that are more youthful to embrace teenage years. Neighborhood Story dives into Ai Yazawa's fashion school days, depicting how cutthroat the fine art industry is and how it shapes the characters' maturity as they advance through a story. Funnily enough, Paradise Kiss is actually a spin-off from Neighborhood Story 20 years in the future, with Mikako Koda returning to the cast in some way, shape, or form. In 2005, the anime adaptation was created with a live-action J-drama movie following that in 2011. The story follows a serious high school student, Yukari, who gets propelled into becoming a model for some fashion designers from the Yaza Art Institute. Madhouse did a phenomenal job in creating Yazawa's vision for Yukari. Her transformation from wallflower to confident girl boss is one of the most realistic portrayals I've ever seen put to anime. Yukari first exhibits a modest style of fashion with her school uniform in an attempt to please her mother. Once she finds a pair of Kiss fashion designers, her mind steadily shifts over to exploring opportunities besides school. She then is more open to exposing more skin and expressing what she truly wants for her mother, and confidently poses at the camera during her model photo shoots. All the characters similarly express their personality through their clothing. Miwako's innocent and naive front reflects the sweet Lolita and bubblegum dream style in her clothing. She wears a lot of pink to match her hair and dark green complementing her personality. She dated Yukari's first crush Tokomori and shows that she is a lot more mature than what meets the eye. Tokomori is dressed as a tall, handsome, popular boy that all girls want to be their boyfriend. However, this is not his full identity, as he had feelings for Yukari and always looked after her. He is very mature, kind-hearted, which gives his generic outfits an opportunity to dive into what makes him tick. Our main love interest and lead fashion designer, George, is dressed like a Victorian cowboy, which probably makes zero sense, but it's the only thing that comes to mind. He wears a lot of suits and fun hats, emphasizing his professionalism in being the head of the Parakiss Foundation. Isabella takes on a classic aristocrat, very Victorian era with the long dresses and puffed out sleeves. She doesn't express her emotions too heavily on the show, which is understandable, given the context of what we've seen in her character throughout the first and second episode. Paradise's Kiss clothing accurately represented the character's persona, which is quite rare to see in anime. Although I've noticed it in a lot of josei anime, the fashion in the shows are just so immaculate, and I don't think they receive enough credit. Talking to you, Princess Jellyfish and Honey and Clover, absolutely stunning. Here we are. The most infamous manga that Ai Yazawa has written, grossing over 43.6 million copies, and the anime raised the bar for the shoujo and josei genre. Since I already covered the main plot of the show in my age gap relationships video, I will mainly be examining the costumes in relation to the characters. The show starts off with Hachiko and Nana Osaki talking to each other on a train and then becoming roommates. Although they are young adults, they still have a youthful naivete to them, which symbolizes that they are still learning and growing as a person. Nana Osaki deals with the departure of her late boyfriend, Ren, going off to play in the most popular band in Japan, known as Trap Nest. She struggles to find herself as an artist and maintain stability in a relationship, whether it's platonic or romantic, which is definitely showcased through her relationship with her bandmates and Hachiko. Nana Osaki embraces the punk style scene, which contrasts that of Hachiko's sweet/girl next door fashion persona. Their opposing personality traits could be viewed as two sides of the same coin, struggling to find who they are, who they want to be in relationships with, and what makes them whole. Which, if they were to take a step back from the busyness of their lives, they would realize how important each of them is to each other, because they are both one and the same. Throughout the series, especially at the start, we see Hachiko and Nana Osaki wearing the same three outfits, which makes sense considering they are newly found roommates and moved to the big city of Tokyo. Yasu is the most put together, wearing suits, blazers, and dress pants, which aligns with his desires of becoming a lawyer and the overall caretaker of the band. He is solely keeping all the characters from mentally burning out of music, suggesting to hold back from signing with a major label to hone their skills as a group. Trap Nest continuously exhibits the punk style fashion scene, which refers to garage groups. Rock and roll groups are often seen as groups that are starting off with very little, hence why their style of music is often referred to as poor quality. because of the rambunctious noise instead of having a nice soothing harmonic tone throughout the entire piece of their music. Since Nana was heavily focused on the music industry, they took a lot of inspiration from Vivienne Westwood, which gave more glorification and reputation towards the punk and gothic genre without demonizing the meaning that the appearance it may take. The show has many characters, so obviously I'm not going to name them all, but there is one guy that absolutely grinds my gears. Any guesses? Unfortunately, due to a disease Ai Yazawa contracted in 2009, she has been unable to finish the manga for Nana. As a teenager growing up, I always found clothing to be a nuisance, since my parents often told me that society encouraged me to only wear things that make me look masculine, and I like wearing things that are masculine and feminine interchangeably, which those silhouettes honestly make your wardrobes much more interesting, and you can play with pattern, design, proportion to create your own signature style, just like Yazawa wanted to showcase in her work. I hope stories show and continue down this path that Yazawa has made to allow people to express who they are through their fashion and determination through their character identity. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I really hope you enjoyed it. I hope you all had a great start to the new year and a fantastic Christmas if you celebrate. I made a request form down in my description to give any more requests for videos if any of you want. I want this to be a very open space. My channel is democratic, so don't be afraid to ask me what other videos you would like me to see, because honestly, that would make my job a lot easier. Anyways, I hope you all have a lovely day, and I will see you all in my next one. Bye!